Oh, Jesus. We know Zeke ain't got those wheels. His second Super Bowl. We got Claypool. We got some of the OGs up there. Jabril Cox, Justin Herbert. Hope that right behind there is, I think it is, Chuba Hubbard. There you go. There you go. Things you love to see in our secondary. This is, this is what you get. What do you mean? Can't decline a Pink Slips trade. Try this again. Something must have went wrong here.
Okay, guys. Coach, just to kind of give a little so you can direct, and then we'll do it any way you want to ask a question, of course.
Following is a statement from the NFL and Dallas Cowboy owner Jerry Jones. After review of the initial contract between the Vancouver Grizzlies organization and its agreement with the NFL to participate in pink slip rules, it has been determined that there was an error in the contract found by Mr. Jerry Jones and his lawyer Rusty Hardin. The error in question was regarding the trading of players after a game's result, where it was perceived that the player on the losing team would get traded to the winner, when in fact the document that has been signed only stated that these players could only appear for the Vancouver Grizzlies, not play for the Vancouver Grizzlies. Mr. Jones has challenged that this means players can't actually suit up and play games for the Grizzlies, and has challenged their trade for Micah Parsons and ultimately their Super Bowl victory as null and void. After extensive conversations with the commissioner, the league has decided to allow the Vancouver Grizzlies Super Bowl victory to remain. However, in effect, immediately, any player that was acquired via trade that is currently a member of the Vancouver Grizzlies is ineligible to play for the Grizzlies next season, as per the error in the document. They can only make appearances, as it stands right now, such as media and charity. The NFL will allow the Grizzlies to trade away players that are ineligible to any team in the NFL. But the only players that can currently play for the Vancouver Grizzlies ahead of the 2023 regular season are those who were signed day one to the roster or drafted by the Grizzlies during the franchise's existence. The NFL has declined Jerry Jones' suggestion that the Vancouver Grizzlies shall null and void their Super Bowl victory, but we have agreed to the proposal that any player traded away from the Vancouver Grizzlies can't be traded for another player. Draft picks only, as we believe that some of the massively talented players currently occupying the roster of the Grizzlies would create an unfair balance yet again if they could acquire equal level talent. So immediately any team that is looking to acquire a Vancouver Grizzly player will have to do so with their draft capital as per Mr. Jerry Jones's request. We at the NFL congratulate the Vancouver Grizzlies on the remarkable season and celebrate them as our reigning Super Bowl champion. We also agree that there was an error on the initial contract that was signed, and today we rectify that and move forward with a new contract that will be signed this evening that will continue pink slip rules for the Grizzlies organization for the 2023 season and beyond. Well, talk about a short-lived Super Bowl celebration. Not the ruling that we were hoping for. I mean, things got real weird when we tried to acquire our Super Bowl victory winning player away from the Dallas Cowboys. But I think we'll be fine. We'll be able to acquire some draft picks. I really hope that it turns into a bidding war. There could be perception that we're sellers. We have to get rid of some of our top players, which is true. But it's also equal to say that these other teams are going to want to acquire these players. These other teams are not just going to lowball us. They're going to want to, pay whatever it takes to get some of our superstars. So breaking down our roster, staying or going, at least as it stands for our starters. I mean, maybe now it looks like it's pretty solid that we kept, some of the guys that joined this team originally from the CFL. Because at least we have some guys on our roster. Some guys that were along for that Super Bowl ride that are going to be valuable for a team that is going to feature a lot of rookies. But Justin Herbert, very good player. He is going to have to go on the trade block. We cannot keep Justin Herbert. Our running back room can stay the same, which is awesome. Chuba Hubbard, Dameon Pierce, Stanback, and James Wilder all are eligible to play for us next season. Same with Irons at fullback, at wide receiver. At least our top dog, Chase Claypool, is still going to remain. Marvin Jones Jr., the veteran, he is going to have to go on the trade block. The very talented rookie Garrett Wilson was not drafted by us. He needs to go on the trade block. We do have Mechie, we do have Rondale Robinson, Zylstra, Inman, Beggleton, and Spencer all currently are allowed to play for us next season. At tight end, our tight end room still real good. We got Benjamin, Auclair, and LaBelle all eligible. Offensive line is where it gets a little rough. Jordan Mailata, appreciate you. Best of luck wherever you go. Kevin Dotson, appreciate you. Best of luck wherever you go. At center, David Andrews, appreciate you. You brought something for sure coming from the Patriots that helped us during this playoff run. But you gotta go. We're good at right guard. City Sal, love seeing that. We drafted him. Jedrick Wills at right tackle lever also is going to have to hit the open market. Defense is also going to be fairly rough. Jeff Simmons, superstar X Factor. You know, he's gone. Aiden Hutchinson, the man that single-handedly just decided to dominate the Super Bowl. We, unfortunately, even though you are a rookie, we're unable to draft you. You need to go. Zach Carter was not drafted by our team. He has to leave. Quinnen Williams was not drafted by our team. You need to leave. But we do still have Nathan Shepard and Anku. Some guys, some bodies available still on the defensive line. Linebacking core. I mean, the controversial Micah Parsons. Maybe the first straw that it was about to break the camel's back, acquiring Micah Parsons ahead of the Super Bowl against Dallas. Already pissed Jerry Jones off. Put him in a bad enough mood that he was going to have to go over the pink slips in our contract with the NFL with a fine-tooth comb. Yeah, well, you know, we won the Super Bowl, and they're not taking it away from us, so I appreciate you. Jabril Cox, who's been awesome for us, unfortunately was not an original member. He needs to go. The rest of our linebacker core does stay, which is decent. At least we have Singleton returning. Jalen Phillips was not drafted. You know, as much as you look on the offense and you just think about the growth and development and the awesomeness of Chuba Hubbard and, you know, really one of the big breakout players on offense, I think you could, you know, pretty much say Jalen Phillips was that and maybe even more on the defensive side of the ball. It feels like he was drafted by us. It feels like he was grown and developed by us, which he was. But unfortunately, with these rules, with the mandates, with the verdict, Jalen Phillips has to move on. That's going to suck. I mean, I can tell you right now, a lot of these players that are leaving, you know, Pink Slips is going back to normal once we get past this. And there's going to be a lot of potential opportunities down the line to reunite with some of the players that were very important for us on this Super Bowl run. And Jalen Phillips certainly is going to be at the top of that list. Into the secondary, we're going to be losing a lot of talent here as well, unfortunately. J.C. Jackson was not an original member of our team or drafted. Same goes with Greg Newsome. Ben St. Juice was, and the rest of the corner room behind him is fine. So, I mean, hey, St. Juice, we got him. He's been a baller. You remember we got the Pinks upgrade for him to get his zone coverage, as I could see it with the 98. So, you know, hey, maybe it's his time to establish himself as corner one here for Vancouver. Marcus Williams was not an original member for us, so unfortunately he's going to have to get traded away. Cruikshank was not. He's someone we just picked up off free agency, had that huge pick 6 in the Super Bowl. Maybe we can get some sort of pick there. Javon Holland and Nate Hawley, the strong safety room, was all original, all eligible, as are our special teamers, Hawalahu, and the draft pick, Matt Ariza from San Diego State. So as that stands, I mean, you look at this, we didn't even have a first-round pick going in this year, but we are going to be able to pretty much draft an entire team, I think, with the haul that we are going to get from these players. So I am going to, essentially for the rest of this episode, we're going to get up to that draft point. We're not going to go through with the draft, but we will handle the trading. We will handle we're not going to be able to sign anybody in free agency, but we will handle the trading of all of our players, and we'll get everything, and we'll be able to at least, once the dust has settled, see the amount of draft picks, see what type of draft picks we have, and what kind of ammunition we have ahead of the draft. So let's start seeing what kind of offers we can get for these players. First man gone, Dane Cruikshank has gone to the Philadelphia Eagles for a 7th round pick. Jabril Cox has gone to the Cincinnati Bengals, and they were desperate for a middle linebacker, and all we could get in return was a 6th round pick. The Dallas Cowboys sent us a 5th round pick for defensive end Zach Carter. The Miami Dolphins sent us a 3rd round pick for starting left guard Kevin Dotson. Returning back to Detroit, the Lions send us a 4th round pick for the veteran wide receiver Marvin Jones Jr. This is where it starts to get rough. Garrett Wilson was just a first-round pick, and the best offer we could get was a 3 and a 5 from the Minnesota Vikings. Now we're starting to get some good picks. Greg Newsome, 85, young outside corner. We're able to get a 2, 3, and a 4 from the Chicago Bears. We get our first round selection back in terms of a trade. We're sending Marcus Williams to the Cleveland Browns for pick 24 in the first round of the 2023 draft. I tried to barter for more, but the only way we were able to get this across the line is for one pick only. We send J.C. Jackson to the Arizona Cardinals for pick 13 in the 2023 first round. When I was shopping Micah Parsons, the one thing I wanted to make sure was he was not going to Dallas, and I wanted to trade him within the division. So we went to the Eagles, we went to the Commanders, and ultimately we came to the Giants, who offered us the first round pick 19 in the draft this year, as well as a 3rd and 4th round pick. We're able to actually package Aiden Hutchinson with a 3rd round pick to the Green Bay Packers to get pick 29 in the first round of the 2023 draft. For David Andrews, we got a 4th and a 6th from the 49ers. Niners also offer a 3 and a 5 for Jedrick Wills. As you can see, what does this mean? We've already committed to using draft picks from this offer elsewhere. So I'm getting like this error across the board now. I don't know why I'm getting that error, but we might have to get a little creative here. All right, so now I think I'm dealing with limitations within Madden where I can only trade for so amount of picks. So I think I have to give up the amount of picks that I'm getting back for all my future trades. So we're able to send Quinnen Williams and 2 7th to the Carolina Panthers to get their 1st and 2nd round picks this coming year. The Raiders came a knocking for Jeff Simmons trying to figure out their pass rush. So we send them Jeff Simmons in 7th and a 6th round pick to get their 1st and 2nd round picks for 2023. The Seahawks gave us a lot better offer than the 49ers for Jedrick Wills. So we're sending Jedrick Wills a 6 and a 6 to the Seattle Seahawks for their 2nd round pick and their 4th round pick. I feel like when you're doing this, you got to try to at least get the first pick, the pick of the litter. So we send Jordan Mailata and our highest previous pick to date, which is pick 13. That's the highest pick we currently owned until this trade. We now own the 1st overall pick of the 2023 draft. For the Buffalo Bills, we have, this one sucks. Just got to rip it off, man. We send them Jalen Phillips, pick 29 in the 1st round, and our 3rd round pick to get the number 3 overall selection in the 2023 draft. And the last domino to fall was involving Justin Herbert. I mean, I have the number 1 overall pick, so I figured let's just go look and see who has number 2. And just so happened to be the Saints, and their top need was quarterback. I don't know what I just did, because giving one of the most overpowered offenses Justin Herbert, I probably just created some sort of ripple effect that I'm not going to appreciate. But we sent Herbert a 6th and a 5th round pick this year to get the number 2 overall pick, a 2nd round pick this year, and the Saints' 1st round pick in 2024. So as the roster stands, I have kind of set our team captains going into next season. But obviously, we're going to hope that we get some immense talent in the draft. But as it stands, Chuba Hubbard, Javon Holland, Chase Claypool, Ben St. Juste, John Mechie, and Sidney Sal will be our team captains. And this is our draft haul. This is kind of how the team sits itself up after all of the times we just got essentially knocked down because we lost a lot of talent. So we were able to I don't think we really bent teams over. I don't really think we might have maximized what we could have got. But our haul is still pretty respectable. We have the 1st, 2nd, 3rd overall picks in the draft upcoming. We also have pick 15, 19, 24, and 27. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 second round picks, 3 thirds, a bunch of 4ths, a couple 5ths, and with that, we are going to hope that we can replenish the talent and field a very competitive team in the 2023 season to try to defend our Super Bowl. I mean, we still got talent, man. Chuba Hubbard's still here. He's an absolute beast. Javon Holland, Claypool, St. Juste. We have one of the best punters, best young punter in the NFL. And we have a couple young players who I absolutely think can step up. I mean, you got, Singleton. There's been a couple times that he's been one of our more productive players on the defensive side of the ball. So, I mean, it is going to be tough. We're going to have to draft very, 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 very well. But we still have some absolute ballers on this Grizzlies roster. So truth be told, we kind of knew we were, near midway point. We're going to be competitive this year. We know we're going to hopefully win the division. I haven't really been keeping up with the draft class. So now that we have an insane haul, here's what the current mock. We got Jeremiah Womack. Looks like the top quarterback in this year's draft class out of San Diego State. We got Ben Bone at tackle. Kirk Hankins, I assume that's a pass rusher at 6'3", 263. We follow that up with, Marshall Bradham on the O-line here, tackle out of LSU. We have Dwight Thompson, D-tackle, Alabama. Or another tackle for some reason, Earl Watson out of Boise State. Sam Haynes just doubling up on quarterbacks. God, these mock drafts are stupid. But, there is going to be an element of, I'm pretty much picking blind. With all of this draft assets, all of this draft capital, you pick blind when you're doing your job and properly scouting every single week. When it's been on the back burner for the entirety of the season, we are picking blind, to say it, bluntly, for this upcoming draft. For free agency, as always, for Pink Slips, we do not sign players from free agency, even though there's a lot of good ones. Minka Fitzpatrick, literally any of these guys would be upgrades to this, but Minka would be awesome. Lindstrom, Tony P. We're good at running back, but there is a lot of decent talent that is available in free agency that, while it's a free-for-all, while it's the wild, wild west in relation to salary cap, we cannot touch any of these players. Here's really going to be our best opportunity to scout players. We have our 3 private workouts that you get right before the NFL draft. I feel like at this point, we might as well look at the top. We have the top picks, so we might as well look at Womack. I don't really know if I should be... we should do our due diligence on the top 2 quarterbacks, because that is where we're going to have our greatest temptation to invest. And I also think, at that point, you just look at the best pass rusher. I feel like offensive line is what it is. We're going to be spending the number 1 overall pick. It's probably going to be either the top quarterback or the top pass rusher. So let's do our due diligence on both the top QBs and Kirk Hankins. And now that the damage has been done, we end this video ahead of the 2023 NFL Draft. Your defending Super Bowl champion Vancouver Grizzlies have been depleted back down to pretty much where we started as a 64 overall team, but we have immense draft capital. And let's be honest, just looking at our team right now, we have some guys that are going to be able to be big-time players. You look at the offense, you feel good about Sidney Sow and Kelvin Benjamin, right? You feel pretty good about there. Wide receiver, we got a wide receiver 1, bona fide wide receiver 1 in Claypool, and then someone in John Mechie, ideally, especially for defending Super Bowl teams, probably a wide receiver 3, but there's some, hey, we got a guy there. Those are 2 pass catchers. That'll be fine. We need to figure out the quarterback spot. I don't think we can go in with Vernon Adams Jr., but luckily we have the man that was arguably the most valuable player on this team last year, Chuba Hubbard, still doing the thing, still repping Team Canada. And, it maybe if we don't find the best quarterback, maybe there's no good quarterback. And then maybe this is one of those years where the top quarterback's like a 68 overall, normal dev. That's fine, because we have wide receivers that can elevate his game. We have a running back that will be able to take some of the pressure off of our quarterback. Flipping to the defense, a little bit of a different story. Really, you got some solid guys, Shepard solid, Singleton solid. We probably don't want to rely on Sean Oakman too much here. But, Ben St. Juste at corner, that's a guy that absolutely can be a nice player for us. 83 with the boost and stuff like that. He would be a corner 2 on a lot of teams in the NFL. And you have Javon Holland, who's an absolute superstar back there, even though he's not a superstar yet. Those are, we got 2 guys in the secondary that should absolutely offer a little bit of stability there, but we definitely have to do our work here on the defensive line and the line. We have to do our work everywhere, but on the defense in particular, that front 7 needs a little bit of love. So our team stands as this. Our draft capital, as Hudson's gone, Caleb Phillips, Justin Herbert, all those guys are gone, and when the dust has settled, we are left with immense draft capital. Pick 1, 2, and 3, 15, 19, 24, 27, and the rest we've already broken down. We have to pretty much field a team that can properly try their best to defend our Super Bowl title with most of this draft capital. So hopefully there's the talent there. That's the second side of this. is that it's a generated Madden draft class. You never know what kind of talent. It could be a weak class. I've seen draft classes where there might be like 2 or 3 guys above a 75 overall. Everything else is a bunch of normal devs that are like 70s and high 60s. So it's not only about the draft capital and hitting on our picks, it's also about what kind of players are going to be available, what kind of talent is going to be available in the draft. If it's not a strong draft class, this is a terrible year to be trying to do this goddamn, rebuild through draft picks. So it's going to be very, very interesting. And that will be our next episode. I think we're going to probably have that drop tomorrow because I want to get going on this series as soon as possible. But I hope you guys did enjoy the continuation, how we are going to move forward with the Vancouver Grizzlies here in Madden 22 franchise mode, better known as Pink Slips. If you guys did enjoy this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. Let me know who we should get for the... You think we should just go quarterback regardless? With the number 1 pick between Womack and Parks there, as you can see in the little Draft Central tab. Again, it'd be way cooler if there was proper scouting, and I would be able to look at the big board and give you guys like, oh, look at these guys. All these guys look absolutely sick. All these guys look juicy as hell for us to be a pick. But unfortunately, given the state of Madden 22 scouting, we don't have a whole lot. We literally, for the best case scenario, some of these guys we actually have a decent amount of homework. But, look for the quarterbacks that we got scouted. Caleb Parks, we got A, throw accuracy, mid. There's not much you could take out of the physicals there, so not a lot of information for Caleb Parks. What about the top Q? Well, we have Hankins. He was the edge rusher we brought in for the private workout. B blocks head, B pursued, D zone coverage, so that lets me know that he is, in fact, a pass rusher. The combine is, slightly above average. Not a home run pick, of course. And then Womack, the top player, the top quarterback. We have very little information, even though he's apparently a top fit for us. A throw accuracy mid. And there's just only so much you can take. You can tell he's on a dual threat. So I don't know, man. It's going to be a very, very interesting draft, and we will have some fun with it tomorrow. So thank you guys for watching. As always, again, is it your first time stopping by? Don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Peace out.